Hi friends! Today we are covering Muse Beauty Pros Buy This Get That sale. But first, if it's your first time here, hi! I'm Alicia. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. And if you are returning, well, thank you for visiting me again. Kinky Sweat stands for my kinky hair and sweat life. I'm a fitness professional who loves things all movement and beauty. If you want to check out what I do in between the makeups, you can head over to my Instagram. This is Muse Beauty Pros biannual Buy This Get That sale. So if you're waiting for the sale to stock up on many favorites, if you are a pro, if you are a makeup enthusiast like myself, then this is the time to get it. The reason why this sale is so outrageously good is the fact that, for instance, you can get 2 Viseart Pro Pan palettes already discounted and free brushes. So if you're looking to try the ESUM brushes, which we'll take a look at as well, you have an opportunity to not necessarily try all of them, but a few here and there. So maybe at the next sale, you could get the whole thing. This sale runs through August 22nd, so you don't have to rush toward it. You could think about it, you could start to fill up your basket and you have some time to make your decisions and not be so rash about it, which is the reason why I love this sale. You can shop confidently and know that things won't necessarily sell out right away. Some of my favorite bundles, for instance, this one, 2 Viseart Pro palettes and get any ESUM eye pencil and a W21 and V33 free. So you're already getting a great discount on the 2 Viseart Pro palettes, which are these here. Any combination, you could get one that's all matte, all satin. The Koi palette is one of my favorites. I grabbed this on a previous sale. I bought this alongside another all matte palette and I just love that combination. Their W21, one of my most favorite sable brushes, and the V33, one of their synthetic brushes. This is a really great combination because you got a blender, and you got a packer, as well as, and you can pick any one of their dual-sided eye brushes. This is in, let's see here, rose and aubergine. So this is really great to just place on the inner corner of the eye, and aubergine is a beautiful plum shade that you can use to intensify your lash line or add some depth to the outer V of your eye. The Buy ESUM Pro Makeup Kit Bag and get a free ESUM brush book. That's one of the best deals. From $220, you can get all that for $112. It's a great professional makeup kit. But even if you're not pro, I think it's a great bundle to have if you pack a lot of makeup. Or maybe you're a fit pro like myself and you use the smaller compartments to not only put their mic belt in, but I can also successfully fit my transmitter, my mic pack, even my headset here. It's deep enough to get the whole set in there without disrupting the construction of the headset, which is what I found to be challenging when traveling. I don't want to squash it or mess with the wires too much so it can last as long as possible. I also have my mic pieces here. I have different attachments. So this is great. And of course, this folds in a way that I can just successfully squish it in here without disrupting the shape of my headset or overwhelming any of the items in here. It's clear so I can see what's in it. If I'm missing anything, I could put something in or take something out. So this works just as well with anything, whatever field you're in. I think when you have compartments that are clear at the top and are very modest in construction, it's just a great help to keep things organized. Buy any 2 Viseart Petit Pro palettes and get a free V29 brush. The V29 is one of my favorites. I love this brush to apply my primer, or if you have a cream shadow you'd love to use. It's wide but fluffy enough so you could get nice product on the lid, but then zhuzh it through your crease. And of course, the Petit Pros are this size here. Really nice to travel with. They have several curations. This is the Midsummer, which is a little lighter in terms of shades that are included in this palette. I love Shushu. I also love, I don't have all of them, but you can see on the website ones that you feel cater to more your makeup style and look. This is one of my favorites. Buy any 2 Viseart Edit palettes, get ESUM G27 free. The edits are this sizes here. I know, I keep the boxes. Shut up. My favorite is Dark Edit and Spritz Edit. There's also Rose Edit, Warm Edit, and a couple of others, but I find that these are my most favorite and the ones I use the most when I do dip into these. Dark Edit, I feel, is one of Viseart's best when it comes to the edit collection, and just the sheer size of this palette, the fact that it's easel shaped, very slim. This fits well in any makeup bag. It has the magnetic frame, so after you pop off the plastic covering, you can still mix and match any of these pans with another edit palette and customize your own. But these are one of the best mattes I think they have ever done and have included in an edit palette. And the metallics in here are just so full body, so this is definitely one of their more impactful curations. And of course Spritz is a little more light, it has the corals and the golds. And the G27 is one of ESUM's most coveted shader brushes. This picks up great product and it lays it down beautifully on the lid. It could also serve as really nice lower lash line buffing and blending. You could tap on a little more intensity with color here on the outer corner. So a very versatile brush, but it's great that it's included in this bundle. By Viseart Grande Pro I, get any ESUM dual pencil V27 and V31 for free. The V27 is the synthetic version of the G27. You see that they're the exact same shape, but this one is synthetic and this one is natural hair. And then V31 is their pencil brush, which a little bigger than your typical pencil brush, but I think really nice in shape, so you could get great highlighting on the inner corner, but you could also get a more precise application here for the lash line and even buff out a pencil along the lash line, or maybe have a little more precise coloring on the outer corner or through your crease. Buy any two Kett Fixx Creem Pro palettes and get any Viseart Petit 4 palette free. That's a great buy. So I don't have the Kett Fixx Creem Pro palettes. I do have their powders, which we'll go over in a minute. But to get any Viseart Petit 4, the Petit 4 are these here. They have bigger pans than the Dark Edit or the Petit Pro. They're the same size as the Attendu palettes, but I think this is great for someone who wants to keep their makeup very simple, who doesn't need 12-15 shades. They just need the 4. You got 2 mattes and 2 metallics. Again, really nice for the makeup beginner or one that wants to dive into some eyeshadow, but they don't need a ton. And with the Kett products, I have their powder foundation, which I will apply in this video. I would love to try their cream products, so maybe I might participate in this sale myself. Buy any ESUM brush set, any brush set, and get the ESUM brush book free. The brush book is in my closet. I'm changing my mattress, so forgive me for not having all these items on standby, but it's a great book to not only store your tools on one side, but you could also use the other to put makeup, to put skincare, because it has a plastic zipper covering that's not going to flow into your brushes, so everything is kept well, and it's just very modest in construction and design. Is low-key, lightweight also, so the packaging itself is not heavy, which is sometimes I find an issue with these beautifully crafted brush holders and makeup bags, that they're made out of leather or faux material, and to now store your tools and different products in there, it just weighs a ton after you're done packing all your products and tools. So I think the fact that it's made with neoprene, and again it's just very simple in its design, makes it very appealing for many. And then you have Viseart blush palettes. Get your V50 brush. V50 is an extraordinary brush because it's so versatile. It's a wedge brush. You could use it, since it is synthetic, with cream and or powders. I used to use this a lot for my liquid or cream foundation. I love to use this with the Danessa Myricks Contour Balm because it fits beautifully here into the hollows of the cheeks, and because the size is not too big, not too small, I think perfect to buff that product out and keep it right where you need it to stay. Buy ESUM Everyday Brush Set. Get any Viseart Edit palette for free. So if you get the brush set, you can get any of these, your choice, for free. So that's a great deal. All together is $132, but you can get it for $98. Whoa. Here it is. Buy 2 Kett Fixx Powder Foundation Pro Palettes. So the Pro Palettes come 6 pan per palette and get 1 Viseart palette, neutral mattes free. That's not a bad deal if you are a pro. If you're not and you're just buying for yourself, it is a lot of makeup. So I think this is more appropriate for the pro who needs to replenish their kit. Maybe they don't have a lot of powder foundation, and the Kett powder foundation is one of the best out there. And they have different items here that you can scroll through, but those were my top favorites because I have most of these products, and the fact again that the discount is just phenomenal, and then you have some added perks to it. So let's get into this demo. We'll start of course with complexion, and then we'll go into the powders. How does that sound? With that said, why don't you come in a little closer? That's enough. I have a dedicated video covering Kett Cosmetics. It's an extraordinary story with how the founder and creator of Kett came up with this formulation. And what's extraordinary about this is that it is made with shea, I believe it's shea infused mica. Very different from just having shea butter and mica in a product. The actual mica is infused with the shea butter so that you just have almost an emollient feel within a powder, which is very hard to achieve because I think sometimes people tend to stray away from powder foundations simply because of the fact that it is a powder. It could tend to look dull on the skin, but to have one that just blends into the skin and still appears like itself, not necessarily a powder, but melts into it, and it still have a luminous look to it, and it's not going to be as luminous as a cream or liquid foundation for sure. But if you're one to love powder foundations but you find that they're very drying, I think this one you would like. Let's see here. My skin color has been changing. Ooh, number N7. A little too dark. I think 05 is the one. Yes, 05. These shades are so unique. 05 I think is olive, and then N5 is more neutral. This is N5 here. Maybe N5 is kind of more where I'm at right now. So let's do N5. And the brush I'll use is the ESUM X57. Look how plush this brush is. It has a lot of bristle in there, so optimal to get more of a full coverage feel. And I think the single compacts are more appropriate for consumer use. Again, if you are a pro, then definitely go with the pro palettes because that's just going to be more cost effective. So we're going to buff that into the skin, and I would recommend that you still moisturize well because despite the technology here, it's still a powder. So know that it's always recommended that you prep the skin accordingly for your skin type. Again, I love the texture. I love the color. These undertones are very unique and I think quite comprehensive, that they cover quite a range without having a million gazillion shades, which sometimes we love that, but it's like, but which one am I? If you're on my complexion, then N5 is a good match. And I'm just going in with what I feel needs extra coverage here, and I'm using the brush, which is very soft, to buff the powder into my skin. You can still see a little bit of that 05, is it? Yes, which is so crazy. Just gonna take a little bit off with the tissue. And I have a lot of blemishes here that are healing, and you could just see, even though it's a powder, it's not latching onto the skin and looks like dry patches, which is another reason why I completely love this powder foundation. And I think also appropriate to use if you have a tinted moisturizer. The whole point is that it's a tinted moisturizer. You don't want that much coverage, but you want a little more and don't necessarily want to use a medium or high coverage liquid or cream foundation, you can use the Kett on top. And for my under eyes, I don't think this brush is the X52. They were discontinuing a few. No, X52 is totally still available. So I'm just placing that under the eyes. You could use your favorite concealer, but I think this is a really nice color for under eye. It's brightening, but it doesn't look heavy on the skin. Putting some brows on because, excuse me. Fun fact, if you happen to have or are planning to get any of the Pro Viseart palettes that are all matte, or even the Grande Pro, technically you can use the matte shadows. I have the dark mattes here. This is one of my favorites. You could use these powders that are more neutral or taupe brown in nature with a thin wedge brush and coloring your brows. So although this is labeled to be my eyeshadow palette, you can use these powders anywhere on your face. Using 01 Plum Bronze, I just love that you have the bronzer shades on one side and the plums. I do have, I think, 2 more palettes with the corals. I just don't know where it is. I'm so sorry. We'll go in with the V50. Let's use this middle shade here. Well, we can mix them all. We can mix them together. Just taking that here on the hollows. And these powders are just so soft and skin-like in their blend. Very forgiving. They melt and fuse into the skin. And it's like, I'm actually just going over all the pans because this color here is like a little rosy, which, yes. I'm just going to tap that down. I don't even have to do much. It just kind of blends itself. If you don't know, Viseart mattes are one of the best in the market. The silkiness and the diffuse-like blend that you get when using these shades is remarkable. They practically blend themselves. They don't swatch great, which is, you know, people judge them right away. They're like, oh, it's not a great swatch, so it's not going to be a good eyeshadow. Listen, you're missing out. You don't have to take any time at all. They just, the flow, they dance. They dance on your eyelids. I had the pleasure of also collaborating with ESUM last year. I'm just still so grateful for that opportunity. We came out with an ESUM brush bundle together, my favorites from the ESUM collection, and I just still can't thank you guys enough for your support, for those who bought it, who tried it, who loved it. It's so crazy that happened. I still can't believe it. Taking some of the plums here and just going a little higher. Ooh. I underestimated the power of these blushes. Just tapping here over the bronzer and around the temples. Could also use this color if you wanted through the crease, if, you know, just to tie in a really nice monochromatic look. Man, I don't know which eyeshadow palette I want to use. Yeah, my gosh. The Grande Pros are just so great. I have all 3. I don't have the most recent one. It was like, they were repeat shades, but they were new shades too, and it was slightly bigger, I believe. You know what? I want to go with Grande Pro number 2 with all the shimmies. This one is a lot of fun because you have so many different textures in here. That is like, what is happening? You could use some of these on the cheekbones too if you wanted. You got the crystal shades. Well, first of all, I will highly recommend that you check out Stephanie Nicole's video where she goes to headquarters and interviews Alphonse and Anastasia herself from Muse Beauty Pro and Viseart respectively, and they break down this palette to the T. They let you know which formula is in what column, what to expect, their intention behind this palette. It's amazing, and they do it for all of these. So if you want more insight of these products, they're not as mainstream as I understand, like Charlotte Tilbury and the Pats of the world, but they've been in the game for a very long time, and the makeup's gonna hold you down. Okay, I cannot find my other Viseart primer. I do have one that I opened, but it's for the video. This is a clear primer, so if you need one that's going to neutralize any lid discoloration that you have, this might not be ideal, but it does provide a beautiful smooth canvas for blending. Of course, using no other than the V29 to blend this out. While that sets a little bit, why don't we go into this golden shade here with the X52. Just bring it right here on the cheekbone. So this is not like your typical shimmer or even metallic. It's more of a crystal formula that is supposed to imbue this scatter effect on wherever you choose to apply it on. So in this case, I'm applying it on my cheekbones, but just look how beautifully bright that appears. It has a glow from within feel to it, and I think especially noticeable if we were to shine some flashlight onto it. So if I turn my light here, you can see it has like a little bit of that dazzle effect. And once you let it settle on the skin, it just looks so beautifully shiny and sparkly without looking chunky or overly shimmery on the skin, which I really like. So I just wanted to make that note because the texture itself is not like your typical metallic or shimmer. It's meant to have more of like that crystal feel. It's very lightweight, so you could actually layer this over the other metallics and shimmers in here that have that more specific of a role, just to liven it up, to add more dimension and more of this. This is what it's doing right now on my face. So you could also spray your face if you wanted a little more adherence, because keep in mind, I have all powder on. I did not put any cream like products on my skin. It was all the Kett powder foundation. So moving into, ooh, I love this. Well, I love these two rows. These are the ones I think that are more true metallic. They actually have glitter. Okay, so if I were to swatch this, you have glitter chunks in there. Do you see that? If you're not into that, you know, Anastasia said glitter is heavy and you might experience fallout. But that is what the base looks like, and then you have the glitter there, but you also have these really lovely duochromes on the row over. Look at that. That's gorgeous. And you have this one here, classic, with the violet and the blue. And if you have one of the Pro palettes, you can use that as supplementary for the Grande Pro II, which I think is great. So you got the cool mattes here. You can use dark mattes. You can use neutral mattes. Possibilities are endless. So let's go in with our G27 and apply this shade here. This looks to also have some type of glittery something. I'm gonna pull that over the lid. And again, the way this G27 picks up product is insane. I'm gonna tap it over the lid. Check that out. Ain't that pretty? And why not? Let's go down with this shade. We're just gonna go wild up in here. Using that shade for this eye, right on the center of the lid. Ooh, that's pretty. We'll go in with this chartreuse shade that, you know what though? I have been eyeing this rose gold. It's just been speaking to me. I don't know why. We could go with that either on this eye or the more copper eye, but let's apply that rose gold color on the inner corner of the more bronzy eye. Just kicking off a little bit of the fallout here, no problem at all. If you want to avoid this entirely, then just do your eyes first. Going into cool mattes and using this more taupey shade. I know I'm using a brush I'm not supposed to. This is discontinued. It's the G34, but you have a V34 that replaced it. It's a synthetic version, so don't mind me. I just love the fluffiness of the original G34 because it's just so, it just gets the product through the crease fast. This might be a little too cool for what I started with, but I just love the color so much. It's like the perfect crease shade, like to actually give it shade. Applying more of that original metallic shade because I blended it away, but it's all good. Taking this cranberry metallic shade, and why don't we use this for our lower lash line? Using my V33 synthetic brush and pulling that through the crease just to kind of encompass the entire look here, so that we'll pull in a little bit of that matte taupe, but it overlaps with that metallic shade so that it doesn't lose its warmth. Oh, that's pretty. We gotta finish this eye. Ooh, I think I want to, we gotta go the chartreuse. We gotta go to chartreuse. Placing that on the inner part with my V31. This is great for not only inner tear duct, but the innermost part of the lid if you want to place a little more color there. Well, we're having a party with this eye. And you know what? I think I gotta go in with the plum. I think that'll be really fun. Hey, rhymes. To use as our outer corner shade. Definition, intensity, smoke. I'm tapping it on first, and then I use the point of the brush to pull it through the crease, which, you know, despite it being more of a pencil brush, great that I could use it as such and take advantage of this point to maybe shape the outer part of the lid. Very smooth across the skin. the metallic shade itself moves well, so it's not skipping or making rough patches, uneven blend. Not too bad. Hey, and then why not, let's go in with this purple here, which is more of like a royal purple. That's more like an aubergine. And then we'll take that shade on the lower lash line here. You know, we're going all in with this eye, fam. You could definitely see the distinction between those two purples. The fact that we have them all on here, but you can still kind of make out the difference between the tones is marvelous. Let's take the duochrome here, but with a finger over the first shade we applied on the lid. So that's going to transform it to more of like with that blue tint, but it just adds beautiful brightness to the center of the lid. And then more with this lavender crystal shade, I'll go in with the same V31 brush, but now on the inner part of the lower lash line as like that spotlight. All right, let me put on some mascara and I'll be right back. Okay, we got mascara on, we got lipstick on. You know, I'm so happy with Viseart products and basically any product sold on Muse Beauty Pro. It is a professional makeup site that is guaranteed to ensure that your makeup experience will be solid, especially if you are professional. Ooh, wait, you gotta see the lids, you gotta see the lids. Hey, we got the cover eye and we got the party dancing eye. This could be party dancing too. Absolutely. And just learning more about the different products that they have on their website, the philosophy behind the brands and the brand owners and their why, their intention behind their formulas and why they decided to create something for the market because they thought the market was missing this said item. And I feel that just connects me more to the actual product because when you have a strong intention like that and then you experience it for yourself, you're like, wow. For instance, the Kett powder foundation. And you understand why Sheila, the owner of Kett, created something like her airbrush makeup, her powder foundation. It's like, okay, I get it. And this is one of the leading brands in the professional makeup industry world for film, for TV, for beauty, for a lot of different sectors in that industry. Same thing with Viseart and with ESUM. And to know that they have this sale open not only for professionals, but for anyone who uses makeup, who has an interest in it. Maybe you want to elevate your organization. Perhaps you wanted to try Viseart for the first time or try ESUM for the first time. All the bases are covered, and I can't thank them enough for having me as an affiliate. Despite the fact that I'm not a professional, I don't do makeup, although I can help people. I have consultations on my website for very basic things, but I don't do bridal makeup, I don't do beauty or portrait makeup. But it's really nice to know that whenever I do use these brands, anything from Viseart, I know the experience is going to be solid. I will be beyond pleased with the results as I am now. And do let me know, fam, if you have any of these products. We'll help each other out down below. If you have any questions about what you've seen in this video, what you've seen on social media, about any of the Viseart curations, about the ESUM brushes, about Kett. Also, let me know where you got your eye on the sale. I might get those Kett cream. I might get the Kett cream blushes. I've been eyeing them for a while. I think it's time. But that means you better be using your Kett powder foundation first, Alicia. Anyway, sorry, you had to hear that conversation with myself. Again, this sale runs through August 22nd. And I forgot to mention, this is not a sponsored video. It is a collaboration with Muse Beauty Pro that twice a year that they ask their affiliates to just share their favorites for the sale. And if you wanted to see these products in action, hopefully this video helped, fam. And with that said, I will see you down in the comments. And until then, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing to my channel. And until then, I will see you on here again with another review tutorial, Muse Beauty Pro extravaganza, monthly favorites, or vlog. Take care, and I will see you again soon.